organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, the suspect in a brutal beating of an Iowa City police officer pleaded guilty last week.
Plus, standing up to bullies, see who's standing up to bullying in schools and how they're getting their message across.
And in sports, we've got post-game coverage from the Central Michigan Stunner in Kinnick.
That's all coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Brad Maxwell.
And I'm Lauren Moss.
Former Iowa student Brandon Plummer will spend less time in jail than expected. On Friday, Plummer pleaded guilty to willful injury and interference with official acts while inflicting bodily injury. These pleas were in exchange for the attempted murder charge previously filed against him. The 21-year-old was caught on tape trying to choke a police officer last November. The plea bargain will keep Plummer in jail for a month instead of 5 years.
A shooting in a Cedar Rapids neighborhood has left a 19-year-old dead. Latasha Roundtree was pronounced dead on Sunday morning from gun-related injuries. The shooting began around 10 p.m. Saturday evening just off Interstate 380. When police reported to the scene, Roundtree was already admitted to the hospital, and the shooting is still under investigation. And in other news, bullying in schools is getting national attention, and it's not just a problem on playgrounds anymore, but continues into college. Daily Iowan reporter Laura Gibbs has the details on how the School of Education is combating this problem.
This past summer, University of Iowa's Teacher Leader Center implemented a new program called Stop the Bully, Find a Solution. In spring of 2012, Teacher Leader Center staff members Will Coghill-Behrens and Rebecca Anthony began researching the issue of bullying, specifically at the college level, and this year they have successfully established a bully prevention program.
We want to have all of our new teachers trained so that they can be an advocate for all students. And we think that our various programs in our Stop the Bully, Find a Solution approach is a very effective way to do that.
Bullying has become a hot topic in the media in recent years. But what does bullying entail on a college campus?
I definitely feel that's an issue, especially if it's not been dealt with at the high school level. It will continue in college. And students at this level, if it's not an issue now and if it's not dealt with in college, especially, that's what we deal with as RAs quite a bit, it will continue in the workplace.
Wristbands promoting the program are available at the Teacher Leader Center located in the Lindquist Center on campus. Stop the Bully, Find a Solution is gaining awareness around the University of Iowa campus. Students, staff, and the entire Iowa City community are encouraged to work together to put an end to bullying on all levels. Laura Gibbs, Daily Iowan TV.
And throughout the next semester, the Teacher Leader Center is offering a number of workshops and guest speaker events for their bullying prevention program.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, it's beautiful weather for a run. But stay with us to find out what brought this group of runners out and about.
And in sports, we'll have the latest from a busy weekend in Hawkeye athletics.
But first, let's check in with Stefan Duran for a look at what our first official week of fall has in store. And Stefan, can we expect some warmth to start us off?
Well, guys, we have some cool temps ahead for the week, but I must say it was still a very beautiful day today with the sunny skies complementing these cooler fall temperatures. Tomorrow we can expect things to start warming up a bit. We will start things off in the morning with clear skies around 57 degrees, and then going on later in the day we will see temperatures rise with a high of 73 and mostly sunny skies. In the evening, temps will dip down into the higher 40s, making for a cool fall night. Now let's take a look at the rest of the week. Tuesday will be the warmest day of the week, topping out at 79 degrees with partly cloudy skies, and Wednesday looks to be very similar, but with a high of 73. Then later in the week, we can expect highs around 70 degrees with a 30 to 40% chance of rain, and lows of 50 degrees both Thursday and Friday. Saturday looks like it will bring a cooler start to your weekend with temperatures around 70 degrees and partly sunny skies. But before the colder temperatures come, some runners took advantage of the sunny weather we had today.
And that's right, Stefan. Hundreds of people came out for the United Way 5K this afternoon to kick off the beginning of homecoming week. Runners started at Carver Hawkeye Arena for the race, sponsored by Fraternity and Sorority Life here at Iowa. The 5K was a charitable event focused on helping people give back to their community. There were 60 volunteers and more than 330 participants in the race, and all proceeds will go to the United Way of Johnson County. This is the 100th homecoming here at the university.
It's a nice day, good race course, good start to homecoming week, so for a good cause, so it's been a good day.
The Grief Life System will host several other events throughout the week.
And not only will the new University of Iowa Residence Hall provide more rooms for the university, but also be saving energy. A heat chiller system is under construction for the new building. The system works by taking air from parts of the building that use air conditioning in the winter and converting it into heat. This is all part of the efforts to make University of Iowa 40% energy efficient by 2020. The new dorm is expected to open in 2015. And now let's take a look at what's happening around the world. A hike up the mountain ended sourly for a group of hikers in Nepal early Sunday morning. An avalanche hit climbers on a high Himalayan peak, killing 9 people and leaving 6 others missing. 10 more climbers survived the disaster but are still severely injured. Many of the climbers are French and German, and the cause of the avalanche is still under investigation.
And according to the New York Times, a Pakistani minister offered a bounty for the death of the person behind the anti-Islamic video. Gumla Ahmed Bilor said at a news conference that he will offer a $100,000 reward. He even suggested that the Taliban and al-Qaeda militants can carry out the killing. This comes weeks after an anti-Islam video made in the U.S. hit the internet and ignited riots across the Muslim world.
And U.S. military men stationed in the Middle East may have to look over their shoulder. That is if one Iranian senior commander has his way. Commander Amir Ali Hajizadeh warned that Iran will attack U.S. bases in the region if Israel strikes their nuclear weapon base in Tehran. He says no Israeli attack can happen without the support of the United States, which means all U.S. military bases are legitimate targets.
Some are calling it the miracle in Kinnick, while others are pointing out the missed opportunity for the black and gold. We now throw it over to Daily Iowan TV Sports' Ian Martin for more on Central Michigan's 32-31 stunning upset of the Hawkeyes. Ian?
Thanks, Lauren, and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Iowa and Central Michigan may have produced the most unusual finish in the country on Saturday. Daily Iowan TV was there, and we now throw it to Annie Costable to kick off our coverage.
Former Michigan State quarterback Dan Enos brought the Central Michigan Chippewas to Kinnick Stadium to face off against the Hawkeyes, and the expectations were high for the offense. Here's Nick Rector for highlights from the game.
Thanks, Annie. Well, it seems the Hawkeyes bit off a little more than they could chew against the Central Michigan Chippewas, blowing the lead in a game that was theirs for the taking. The game was riddled with mistakes by Iowa. However, their opening drive was perfect. They ran 5 plays for 72 yards, ending the drive with a touchdown pass to Martin Manley. On their next possession, tied at 7-7, Iowa fullback Mark Wiseman fumbled the ball on the first play, handing the Chippewas an easy 3 points. That was pretty much Wiseman's only mistake of the game, though, as he ran for 217 yards and bulldozed his way to the end zone for 3 touchdowns. Here Wiseman is in the first quarter, running it right through the middle for a 34-yard touchdown run, putting the Hawkeyes up 14-10. Here he is again in the third quarter with his second touchdown run, and here he is in the fourth quarter, yet again converting a 12-yard touchdown run, and more importantly, giving the Hawkeyes a 31-23 lead.
I have full confidence in the offensive line and Brad's. They're all opening up. I knew that they would do it out there. They're making it easy for me.
This would not be enough to seal the game, though. With 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, Central Michigan marched the ball down the field and scored a touchdown, making the game 31-29. They would miss the 2-point conversion, but would get the ball back after a successful onside kick. A personal foul on Iowa would help move the Chippewa chains close enough for them to convert a field goal and win the game 32-31. In the end, the Hawkeyes' mistakes overshadowed Mark Wiseman's second consecutive great performance for the Hawkeyes. Now let's kick it to Josh Bolander for a more in-depth look at the game.
You have to keep your poise and let the referees officiate. And, I think any player has to realize if they get involved in a two-way, they run the risk of being caught. Sometimes both guys get caught, and one time, some other times just one. But in that situation in particular, we just have to be a smarter team.
From the opening kickoff, Saturday afternoon looked promising for the Hawkeyes. The offense opened up from the get-go, new weapons emerged during the run of play, and fullback Mark Weissman continued to bully, bruise, drag, and even run by several Central Michigan defenders en route to piling up over 300 yards in just over 6 quarters as the Black and Gold's new starting tailback. Despite giving up 23 first-half points, the Hawkeye defense appeared to be up for the challenge of another feisty MAC opponent as well, ramping up their intensity and shutting out their counterpart for all but 50 seconds of the second half. Unfortunately, those 50 proved to be the most costly and the most preventable. While the Black and Gold's defensive style can definitely be described as both hard-hitting and aggressive, the physical and sometimes overly chippy style of play not only led to the 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty with the game on the line, it ultimately cost the Big Ten favorites the win. The Hawks were flagged for 7 major penalties in a game that could have been theirs for the taking, unheard of for a Kirk Ferentz-coached squad, leaving the head coach with plenty to address after the stunning loss.
Would you use the word undisciplined in describing this performance?
I think any team that has 9 penalties, 7 of them being majors, that word would probably fit right in there. So, I would have to say so. Undisciplined, sloppy, however you want to look at it.
The Hawks look to bounce back next week when they welcome in Minnesota with Floyd of Rosedale on the line. Wrapping up Iowa's 32-31 loss to Central Michigan, Josh Bolander, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Of course, other teams besides football worked up a sweat this weekend. Let's take a look at some of the Hawkeye Olympic sports. First off, 13th ranked Iowa field hockey had a successful road trip to the state of Michigan with 2 wins, including a conference win over the Michigan State Spartans. Today, the Field Hawks did what the Gridiron Hawks couldn't, defeating Central Michigan by a field goal. And women's soccer is probably on the verge of being ranked themselves after 2 one-goal victories over this past weekend. The Hawkeyes just needed a Catherine Lewis penalty kick to take care of the Indiana Hoosiers on Friday night and got 2 second-half goals for a 1-goal victory today. That match score, just a little bit deceptive because that was a very late Iowa own goal that brought that within 1. And last but certainly not least, the Iowa volleyball team opened its Big Ten play this past weekend. They traveled to Columbus and State College, Pennsylvania. Friday night was a tidy victory for the 23rd ranked Buckeyes, but Iowa put up a fantastic fight against historic powerhouse Penn State. They're the Iowa wrestling of volleyball. Although the Nittany Lions are now 44-0 all-time against Iowa, the Hawkeyes did win the 3rd set after staving off 2 match points and only lost the first 2 sets by a total of 9 points. We'll have more coverage of all the Iowa sports this coming week, including reporters in the field tomorrow for more in-depth analyses of these games. But that's all for us on this Sunday edition of Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thanks, Ian. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into Monday's edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about what Muslim students and faculty think about the ongoing protests in the Middle East.
And how you can protect yourself from bats this season.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.